Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Bolt fam especially, welcome to another edition of Bolt Blitz Uncut. I'm your migrained host, Booga Peters, and yes, I do have the glasses on again, but it's been a minute since we've had one of my favorite people. Yeah, I can still do that too. Oh, my elbows don't work like that. You're right. You're just trying to show off. But one of my favorite people, and we'll do it now as opposed to during the outro. I'm winking. John Kegley, who is our NFL historian, Chargers historian. He knows more than most of us about the past regarding the Chargers and the NFL. Great to have you back on, John. How you doing, Kegs?
I'm surviving. That 18-mile ruck march was rough.
So what he's referring to, and we're not going to spend too much time on this, but he just got done doing a ruck there for the United States military. And when he says 18 miles, it wasn't just like, oh, it's a laissez-faire. Oh, let's just have a little bit of fun while we do this. Tell everybody what it entailed, how much weight you had on your back, and everything that had to do with it.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I think my wife just came home and my phone's like hooking up to her car and like playing the music on my phone over you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Shaw just kind of mentioned it in the comments. I just said, because we're going to highlight it for just a quick second. Tell us a little bit about that 18-mile ruck.
Okay. It's called the Norwegian Foot March. And you basically had to do an 18.6 ruck with a 25-pound ruck, but I had 32 pounds. And you have 4.5 hours to do it. I completed it in 4 hours and 26 minutes. I also had mold in my Camelback that I drank and was dry heaving the whole last half.
Camelback is a water producing pack that you have on you. It's full of water, and then it has a straw, if you will, kind of a long tube that serves as a straw coming out the back. Keep going.
Yep, correct. And I had just gotten it brand new, and somehow it already had mold in it. Don't know how, but that made it even rough. But I still completed it, and yet 80% of the people that were there couldn't complete it fully healthy. So do that with what you will.
Here's what I will do with it. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this is a cat over here, and John Kegley, who used to jog. Well, it was probably run, if I'm being completely honest, to Qualcomm, the Murph, Jack Murphy Stadium there in San Diego, while he fed himself ramen noodles just to make sure he could make every Chargers game. Now he's in a different state, but he's still doing his best to support the team in his way. And when it comes to what he does for our country, I cannot thank you enough. Notice I'm doing this now as opposed to during the outro. Kegley, we're here to talk top 5 quarterbacks in the entire NFL. I'll allow you, if you don't mind, to start with yours, and then I'll piggyback off of you and kind of interrupt you every now and then when I do this.
So you want to start with number 5 and make our way up to 1?
I love it. That's the perfect way to do it. And then if you have honorable mentions, throw them in at the end.
Yep. And so I'd say number 5 is going to be Joe Burrow for me. You talk about a guy who's doing the same thing as Justin Herbert with no offensive line and still making success, got them to the Super Bowl and almost won. But I would also say that like he has an advantage. He's had Jamar Chase on his team with T. Higgins. Like he's had a pretty built roster to help him out, where Herbert hasn't always had that. And he's had Anthony Lynn as a coach who said he's a backup for a reason. So that's why I put Joe Burrow below Justin Herbert.
Who's number 4? Hit me.
Number 4, I'm going to give it to Patrick Mahomes. I know people would think that should be higher, but we've seen the past couple of years his numbers not being as strong without the Tyreek Hills and all those guys. All he's got is Travis Kelce. People starting to figure it out when he doesn't have all those weapons. But he still knows how to perform, still tries to figure out a way to keep the game close and maybe pull out a tough win. And he still has won Super Bowls with or without weapons. There's guys that have had lots of weapons that have no Super Bowls, a.k.a. The next guy on my list.
Oh, then let's go straight to fucking number 3. Let's roll.
Lamar Jackson has had all the weapons you could ask for. Even had a year where he was the number 1 seed and lost to the Titans in the first round in the first playoff game. But I'd also would say that as good as he is, as talented as he is, he's also had John Harbaugh as his coach, which is a luxury. So I can't make him any higher than 3.
But hold on, and I'm going to stick there with you on the Lamar Jackson at 3 thing. I've got him at 4, by the way, but we'll get to my list here in a little bit. When it comes to the wide receivers, I know they drafted Zay Flowers, obviously, when Chargers fans would have liked that to be the case. He has had a Derrick Henry, and he has had some things in the running game that would cater to the fact that he's also a mobile quarterback. My thing is I wanted Lamar Jackson to be the incumbent, the one to replace Phillip Rivers, which a lot of people who have been paying attention for long enough, a decade ago, to boltblitz.com, way back in the day, I wrote about 15 articles about Lamar, hopefully being the next Chargers quarterback. That being said, John's right. Lamar, it's not that he's limited by his ability to run. It's just that there needs to be at some point, especially now in his career, where he takes the time to read the defense and take his time and getting that done. Who is your number 2 rated quarterback in the NFL?
Before this year, I would have had this guy at 4 or 5. But after seeing last year with no offensive line and somehow dragged the team to the playoffs, it's Justin Herbert. No offensive line, looking like he's at like lunchtime football at a middle school, outrunning everyone, juking around, somehow finding a way to complete passes, and dragged that team to the playoffs. He did his own Norwegian foot march with this team, dragging that team on his back 18.6 miles to the playoffs.
That was so beautifully put, and it was an incredible segue from what we opened the show with. Here's the deal, and we'll get into my list in a minute. I don't understand why the rest of the NFL, and there are plenty of people who do understand it outside of the Chargers organization and the Bolt fam, if you will, but I don't get what people don't like or love about Justin Herbert. I understand the playoff losses, but if you don't have him in your top 5, as Kegley's mentioning him as his second best quarterback in the entire NFL, I really don't get what type of football you understand or what you're watching. Running for his life, and everybody tried to make the excuse, oh, it's hero ball. He's playing hero ball. Yeah, you have to do that. Kegley, you're in the military. When you have weak links along your regiment, you guys understand that you have to pick it up a little bit more. And when you go into that day, when it comes to counting on the people around you, you just happen to overcompensate sometimes. I would imagine you're an overcompensator. I know that's not a word, but we're going to roll with it just because it's Bolt Blitz Uncut. We have a little fun here. I would imagine that my man Kegs just picks up the slack for everybody around him. That is what Justin Herbert has been forced to do. Joe Ortiz, Jim Harbaugh, regardless of who's making the picks and who's supplementing how they attack free agency, it's both of them together. But I do continue to say that it's Harbaugh. I know that Ortiz came over from Baltimore. What the fuck have they won? Like Taylor and I talked about last night. But Justin Herbert is literally the most scrutinized quarterback in the NFL. And here's why I believe so. Because he's 6'6", 240, Dayton Madison beer. And too many of y'all want to be him when you just can't settle for being yourselves. Since we're going to move on from that, before you come hit me with something in the mouth here, Kegley, your number 1 quarterback in your top 5 right now. We know who it is, but say it anyway.
From Wyoming, Josh Allen, who has shown he can run the ball and throw the ball, carry the team with all his weight, all the weight he needs. He can carry a linebacker on his back, whatever. He does everything he needs to get that Buffalo Bills team, who gives up a lot of points during the playoffs every year. He gets that team to the playoffs. Jim Kelly is the only other QB in recent memory of Booga, who has a lot of memory since the 1800s, who could make the Bills that good for that long. That after Jim Kelly, you had guys like Rob Johnson, you had Drew Bledsoe at the end of his years. Like, you had all these guys, and Josh Allen is making the Bills a contender every year.
They had the bad part of Flutie. I got a lot of names there.
Nathan Peterman against the Chargers.
Okay, that was a beautiful game for the Chargers. Golly, what did he throw, 5 or 6 picks? It was gorgeous.
There's 5 interceptions. There's also a fumble return for a touchdown by Melvin Ingram. I was at that game.
Yeah, and I bet you had the Chargers defense in your fantasy football leagues. For those of you who are unaware of what Kegley does, and he's going to be setting up our Bolt Blitz Uncut are just Bolt Blitz. It's not necessarily the uncut. It's just Bolt Blitz fantasy football leagues this year. If you want to get involved, make sure you message us or leave a comment right here. I want to point out to this Daniel Bridges 8927. Thank you so much for tuning in. Baltimore did not win 2 Super Bowls. Just so we can throw that.
They did that with Joe Flacco and Trent Dilfer. Nice try though.
Oh, Jesus Christ, they did. Oh, my God. I'm so glasses Booga is a choice. Let's get it. Hey, man, I got a migraine and I can't see my boy across from me right now. David Shaw, Wade Phillips. Oh, no, Wade and I are pals. Wade bench Flutie for Rob Johnson. I'd say blunder. Fair. Completely
and
fair.
Then he got blundered by the Music City Miracle.
Yeah, and who? Hey, okay, so tell me the connection. I'll give you one. Obviously, it started with the Lorenzo Neal. Who did he get the ball to? And then who did it end up in the hands of?
Well, I believe Frank Wycheck picked it up, gave it to Lorenzo Neal, and he threw it to Kevin Dyson, who ran down the sideline.
Bad order, great names. And that's exactly what happened. And by the way, Richie, man, Richie probably doesn't wear glasses, but I cannot help it. I have to be able to see people.
He used to.
You're such a prick. Yeah, he did used to, actually. Well, at least I thought he did. Maybe I'm wrong. Steel trap memory. Oh, that's sweet of you there. That's Shaw, by the way. We love Shaw. Shaw is not only a part of the Bolt Blitz group chat, he's also a part of everything we do here when it comes to the comment section. He's an all-pro here, if you will. Let's get to my top 5 quarterbacks so that we don't keep just bragging about everything that happened in the past. My top 5 quarterbacks, and I'm going to upset a lot of people, and you're going to think that there's a little bit of bias here. I'm going to start with my 5, just like John did, and I'm glad that he kind of rerouted us because I was going to go 1 through 5. And he's like, would you like to start 5 through 1? Yes, please. And I'm so glad you were so astute to do such a thing. This is going to piss some people off, and I can't fucking stand the Cowboys. But give me Dak Prescott as quarterback number 5. Give me Dak Prescott as quarterback number 5. I can't stand the here we go bullshit. I cannot fucking stand it. That being said, he's good at the line of scrimmage, and he's accurate enough to where I enjoy what he has to do when it comes to dishing out the ball to guys like CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and then everybody they have at tight end there. Number 4, Lamar Jackson, the guy I wanted to be a Charger and eventually replace Phillip Rivers. I couldn't write enough articles about him. I don't care who the fuck his coach is. I like the fact that Lamar can get it done both in the air and on the ground. Number 3, Matt Stafford. That's not popular with a lot of people, but he's always going to be one of my favorite players of all time, not because I'm in Michigan again now, but I will just say that game against Cleveland where his shoulder was not just disconnected, it was just hanging on by a thread, and he refused to come out of the game, and then they had him on the sideline. A timeout was called by the opposing team, and he's like, oh, them calling that timeout means I don't have to forego a snap. I can go the fuck back in. And what does he do? Scores a touchdown. One of my favorites, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. His no-look passes, they're better than Patrick Mahomes, who is not in my top 5. But we'll talk about my honorable mentions when I'm done. Quarterback number 2, and this is tough. It's Justin Herbert. And the only reason I think that it's tough is because I would love to put him at number 1, but and I'm not here trying to gain the approval of the masses or anybody outside of the Chargers organization. But until he wins something in the playoffs, regardless of the offensive line and lack of weapons that can create separation, it is partially up to him to make the players around him as best as they could be. And it just didn't feel like that. Is it completely unfair? Probably. Then I'm saying that. Like, the fuck was he supposed to do? He had like 1.9 seconds per throw in that Texans game. In both, shit. It was like 2.3 the year before and 1.9 last year. It is what it is. But that being said, I do want to see more from him too. I'm not this huge Herbert apologist like I was a Rivers apologist, because I will continually support Rivers in anything and everything that he did. But my number 1, while we're here, top 5 quarterbacks, got to be Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. Kegley talked about it too. give me a guy that's going to carry defenders down the field on his back, that's going to run them over, that can also throw at 85 yards. The Bills were in a weird situation. They obviously got rid of Sean McDermott, which felt awkward as fuck to me. But we'll see what happens with the Bills Mafia. I've seen and talked to a lot of Bills Mafia. They relate to me well because I kind of fit in, if you will, regarding what they do as far as being fans. It's mostly the drinking and the jumping myself through tables and dumb shit. But Josh Allen right now, I believe, is the best quarterback in football. I don't want to keep John just sitting here, but I'm going to run through my honorable mentions really quick, and it's just 3. Drake May, congratulations, you made it to the AFC Championship and then the Super Bowl. I'm just not buying that much into you as far as what's going to happen going forward, especially with whatever Mike Vrabel's doing in the offseason. Pat Mahomes is an honorable mention. 2 years ago, this would not be the case. I would have him as number 1. Listen, he's already started throwing coming off of that torn ACL. I'm not too overly concerned about the Chiefs because of the fact that I don't buy that Patrick Mahomes is going to be healthy. And then this is really going to piss some people off. But give me Brock Purdy as my 3rd honorable mention. So that's my top 8. I really like Brock Purdy a lot more than people would ever imagine because he and I throw the football the same way. I'm just a little more accurate and have a little more arm strength. Kegley, hit me with how much you want to shit on me.
I mean, you can't throw anything. You couldn't even do this. So I don't want to hear how well you could throw. But Trevor Lawrence, I think he's an honorable mention.
That's very funny, actually. So my top 5 has been decimated already by Kegley in just a quick phrase, but part of the title is the running back room is nice. Let's start talking about this running back room. Amari and Hampton, obviously a first-round pick at 22, just like the Chargers have now in the 2026 draft. They have the 22nd pick in the first round. Then Kamani Vidal. I mean, let's say that he was a little bit underrated. He caught that one wheel route for a touchdown reception there in year 1. And then what did he do last year? He was the leading rusher for the team, and he was able-bodied as a receiver, and then also in the red zone. I think it's a little exciting to see him try to fight for his job because of the fact that they also signed Keaton Mitchell, former Baltimore Raven. Again, the Chargers are Baltimore West in some degree, considering the Harbaughs like to share players. Could we share another player in Sexy Dexy? Dexter Lawrence would stop it. Don't you dare. We'll talk about that later. But good. Listen, as much as I'm joking right now, Keaton Mitchell is a very welcome addition to the Chargers, not just as a receiving back, not just as a change of pace back. He led the entire NFL in yards per carry last year at 5.8 yards per carry. I can dig that. Listen, you get 2 carries out of him. That's a first down, as the numbers would try to tell you. But it's not just that for me. Darius Davis, who at times was an incredible kick returner and punt returner, his injuries have set him back. He's just not somebody who produces anymore. He goes down on first contact now. He's not outrunning anybody. Keaton Mitchell, on the other hand, he's a 26.9 yards per kick return average guy. He's somebody who has that explosiveness. He's a home run threat at all times. I couldn't be more excited about him. And as much as everybody, the LA Football Network and GAC and even the Unleashed guys, nobody's talking about Jarrett Patterson coming back. But I will say this, if and when he does need to be injected into the offensive unit, as long as he sticks around on the practice squad, you will not be disappointed. He's a hard runner. He's that guy who falls forward. And I look forward to the rest of that, the entire running back room. Your thoughts on the running back room, Kegley, and anything that I left out?
Well, I'd say on paper it looks great. But in reality, you have a running back who was producing but got injured, 2 ankle injuries. So that's good. That's usually a step back, usually, especially in nowadays NFL. Back in the day, if they got an injury, you would see the greatest rehab you've ever seen. They come back, you're like, how is this guy still going on a torn ACL or whatever they get? He gets a fractured ankle and then another ankle injury week 17. So you don't know if he's going to play the whole year. And you don't even have the offensive line set yet. So how far is he going to get? He's going to get beaten just as bad as Herbert does at this point until we see the draft and the rest of free agency that happens after the draft. And then Kamani Vidal. I love that guy. When the Chargers first got him as an undrafted free agent from Troy, that dude had 1,600 rushing yards his senior year as a small little 5'8" guy who has tree trunks for legs, just like Darren Sproles used to have. And he falls forward. He pushes the line forward, which is what you need for a change for like your. I'm not gonna call it change of pace back, but like, hey, Hampton needs a rest. Bring in Vidal. Or if it's 3rd and 1, you have your guy. You have the goal line. You have your guy. You don't have to rely on someone that's elusive to do everything. And then Keaton Mitchell, as much as I like him in the kick return game, like you say, that's a given. But that's your 3rd down change of pace back. That's going to be if you set the game plan just right and you've got like a 3rd and 7 and you set up that screen pass just right, goodbye. If you throw it to him in space in front of where the linebackers were blitzing, do that, go out, and then right where the linebackers were, hit him, and he's gone.
Run an arrow or Texas route, depending on what offense you're in and what part of the region you're in. It's like alcoholic drinks, just so y'all know. It varies.
Booga. Charger fans don't know what that means. Come on, you got to talk normal, man.
Oh, come on. Arrow in Texas. Come on, man. We're on the same page. It's literally, it looks like you're going to hit.
Oh, I know what it is.
No. I'm explaining it for everybody out there. Literally, it looks like the running back's going to hit to the flat out of it, and then they literally just arrow or Texas inside. If you look the shape of Texas, and then they hit that thing inside, and it's a weird like elongated slant, if you will. But when you have a guy with game-breaking speed, and John mentioned it, when you have a guy with game-breaking speed like Keaton Mitchell, it's probably a house call in the right circumstances under the right conditions. Let's go right to Tessa here. And Tessa, we love you, girls. So nice to have me here in the comment section. I am so worried about O-line, you guys. John, let's get right into it. How concerned are you? And would you agree with her? I would.
Oh, I'm worried more than probably anybody, and that's because I think about things other people don't think of. Everybody else just going, we don't have interior guards yet. We don't have guards yet. Our center is injury prone. Like, yeah, and your 2 guys that you're relying on are injury prone too. Joe Alt's injury prone now. Rashawn Slater's injury prone now. You could put them all on there, be like, yeah, we got 3 guys. We just need 2 guards. Okay, cool. But they've all been injury prone. They've had to spend their whole offseason rehabbing, which means they're probably going to also be hurt again because they're not getting that rest time and that recovery time that they need because they have to rehab the whole offseason to be back where they were before. It's really, really hard to come from an injury and be the whole entire season. You got to have a rotation probably for some of these guys, which is why my big thing for the Chargers is going to be after the draft that you only get 5 picks if you don't trade. Undrafted free agents has to be who's going to be my rotational pieces, not who's an experiment that I can just take a risk on because, hey, they're sitting right there. It's who's going to be, can I get a rotational piece here? Who's going to come in and I can rely on 2 plays for sure? Like, hey, play 2 plays real quick so Alt can come over here, get his calves rolled out or whatever and not be injured again.
No, John, you're really fucking on point tonight, and I wouldn't expect anything less. By the way, Shaw, yeah, Tomlinson ran that arrow a lot. He also ran that wheel out of the backfield. We watched him run that wheel route against Denver, and y'all know exactly the game I'm talking about, where he just split everything up that cover 3, and it was gorgeous. And he didn't walk in, but my God, when you can run like LT can.
Oh, he did it against your hometown right now, the Lions. He did that. I want to say it was 2003. He did it, caught that pass, and he outran the safeties right between them both.
Boy, he's done a lot of those things. If it was against, and they're not good, Lord, don't give me that. Now, do we clean the homes of 2 former Detroit Lions? We do. We do that because they pay really well. So I appreciate them. I signed NDAs, so I'm not allowed to say who they are. But hey, I will say this. Thank you so much to all the Detroit Lions and the fan base. I'm a closet Lions follower. Can't help it. Born in Kalamazoo. At Borges, a gorgeous baby at the Borges Hospital because I was adorable with long eyelashes and I was in an incubator for fucking 35 days and they're like, this kid's gonna die. And sorry for y'all, you're listening to this show. I made it. Ooh, so true. Praying for depth and a victorious, beautiful season. Tessa, we are too. I'm just not gonna hold my fucking breath at this point because it really depends on what's gonna happen here in the draft. Speaking of the draft, as we segue to the next segment, God, you guys set us up so well. We love the comment section. Y'all are great. Best pick at 22 in your opinion? We talked about this pre-show, but feel free to have a little fun with this and let's roll.
Well, at 22, there's only one guy. Unless somehow, some way, someone falls and does a Derwin James down to us. I've already told you I suck at pronouncing his name.
Okay.
I'm bad with names. The guard from Penn State. Can you say the name for me?
Vega Ioane.
There we go. I'm really bad with names. That's my one weakness. When I first met Booga, I didn't even remember his name. And I was like, no, the really short dude that gets the press passes all the time that hangs out with Thomas. They're like, Booga? I was like, yeah, that guy. Like, I remember everything but names. It's just bad. But I like him a lot.
You're forgiven. And I love that everybody was like, oh, that's the short fat. Well, they didn't say fat back then. I was so fat. But the short guy who gets press passes. I earned that shit, by the way. But keep rolling.
Yeah, Vega is going to be what I believe the only guy worthy of the 22 pick. Any of the other guys after that kind of blend in, if you will, and they're all, in my opinion, worthy of like maybe the 35th, 36th pick. And so you'd be reaching at that point. So I would say if you can, if he gets picked before you, trade back, get a few extra draft picks, and you can get like KC Concepcion from Texas A&M at wide receiver for like the 29th or 30th pick if you trade with one of those guys, while also getting your guards in the second round, where you get some pretty good value for guard in the second round if you can get another second round pick. But if he's not there, if Vega's not there at 22, I don't really see other guys unless somebody does a Derwin James and falls in our lap.
I love that you brought up Derwin because you, me, and everybody else, we didn't think there was any chance that Derwin would fall. I mean, he's this major stud out of Florida State, a little bit of injury concerns and this and that and the other, but 6'2", and I don't know about y'all, if you have not paid attention, Derwin James is pretty fucking good at football, and we're pretty goddamn glad he's a Charger. Him falling to 17 was the biggest surprise for me anyway, during my coverage of the NFL draft. And I've been doing this for a long time. Getting Derwin was incredible. And, you know, he's just so good that he's been an all-pro at slot, at safety, and all these other random fucking spots because he's that kind of dude. He is 30, but he's a guy that you're going to have to put up with, if you will, making plays for your Los Angeles Chargers now that they're no longer in San Diego. John touched on the fact that, you know, trading back is a big option. Myself and Taylor Bloom are going to have a special edition of Bolt Blitz Uncut this weekend. Whether it be Saturday or Sunday, we'll let you all know. We're trying to figure it out schematically and make sure our hours, match up. But we're going to talk about I have a top 10, literally handwritten because I'm old as fuck. But we have a top 10 options as far as the Chargers being able to trade down. Go ahead, get it.
Did you write that with the feather and the ink?
Duh. And then you know exactly what Taylor did? Taylor took that shit. She took my screenshot of the notebook, and then she used either Claude or whatever the fuck it is, some AI thing. And then she sent me like the bullet points, like written out like an adult, you know, in computer speak is the best way to say it. And it was just streamlined and bullet pointed really well. So old folks like me, we have a chance out there. We just have to write shit down on pen and paper, and then we figure this shit out because we have smart young people like Taylor, co-host and producer extraordinaire. John, listen, the Chargers back-to-back 11-6 seasons. How confident are you? And this is off the cuff. John Kegley here does not know where I'm going with this, but this is Jim Harbaugh year 3. Back-to-back 11-6 seasons, one and done in the playoffs. Your thoughts on the 2026 season and how hyped or how cautious should Chargers fans be regarding this upcoming year?
If you are worried about the Chargers record this upcoming season right now, you're stupid. You're dumb. You need to do research. We have the draft. There's a little bit of free agency left. We have trades that could happen. We have undrafted free agents. We haven't even gotten to training camp yet where injuries happen out of nowhere, like Melvin Ingram.
Yeah. People forget that shit, though. Bosa, too. Jason Verrett. There are so many that you and I could talk about forever.
Yeah. You all got to learn to, look at the process. Learn how the process works. Learn at the players that you're getting, because you can learn what the Chargers are doing. Do they actually care about winning, Or do they just want you to believe the hype, buy the tickets, look at the advertisement money, and then complain all day on social media so that they get advertisement money on social media as you complain about how bad the draft and how bad our O-line is? Like, look at the process. Stop looking at the record. Figure out what they're doing and start calling them out on it. Start holding back money from them. It's okay to do that because you expect money. You guys pay your hard-earned money for these tickets. They are ripping you off. They give you season ticket awards that's a bucket hat or a suitcase tag.
I'm sorry.
When I got season tickets, I got to go have dinner with Travis Benjamin at a really expensive steakhouse. Yeah, and he's short. That dude was short.
Yeah, but he could run. Jackrabbit.
I got to talk to him about my scouting report I did on him when he was getting drafted into the NFL and how much I studied him in Cleveland and wanted him on the Chargers. And he was amazed at how much I knew about him, like chasing rabbits in the fields and stuff growing up. And that's what made him so fast. And that's experiences that a season ticket holder should get, not a bucket hat. You can get a bucket hat for $5 at a Walmart right now. You guys got to learn to start calling out the team and start looking at the process.
Bobblehead, you're not content with this neat little T-shirt that you might get eventually. Like, no, it's moments like that. And what's funny is, and Kegley, thank you so much for sharing that, because we've got Jessica Thompson, who is obviously a huge Bolt Blitz supporter, and then Taylor Bloom, who's the producer / co-host of this show. And though they reach out to their season ticket reps and get nothing, and I mean nothing. Jessica, I believe, just recently changed reps. She said, I'm done with this shit. Not in those words because I'm aggressive in the way that I talk, but I mean, like, it's bad. Taylor she's beyond frustrated. And you guess what I've heard from everybody on X / Twitter? The same fucking shit. Y'all spent all the money to build the Bolt and you're renting out SoFi for $1 a year, where the fuck it is. But at what point do you get to say, you know what, these folks that show up for these games, these overpriced games, they're in the stadium, but they support our team because the home crowd advantage is showing up slowly. At what point do you take care of those folks? Do you think they do?
No, they 100% don't take care of the folks. They literally do anything they can to make things rough for anybody and everybody to go to a game. And then they just, when at the end of the year, they just go, thank you, here's a poster. And then they don't give you an opportunity to come get that poster signed. Like, I've watched other NFL teams. I forgot what game I went to when I traveled. I forgot what it was, but the pre-game pass that you get to go on the field and stuff, they had parts where you can the players would actually come over to sign autographs from you. I've seen Charger games where people will ask for the players to come over, to security be like, stop trying to come over here. We're not letting them over here.
Sorry, that's frustrating. And hold on, Tessa's saying the same shit that you were or what I was she's piggybacking, off of what I said. The home crowd advantage is improving, thank goodness, because it has taken time. But I will tell you right now, and John, you know this as well as I do, maybe better, it takes zero amount of time to lose that shit.
Let's be real. The home crowd is improving because of Jim Harbaugh's name.
Yeah, but that's
all
fine.
They have to do is say Harbaugh's the coach. I'm going.
But that's fine, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, but if Jim Harbaugh leaves right now, if he says, you know what, I'm retiring, my health's not good, whatever, are the Charger fans still going to be there?
If they
probably not, because they've been thrown into the dumpster by the organization. And if Harbaugh, who's a really good coach, is only getting 11-6 out of a team with no O-line and a bunch of injuries, what's the next guy going to get?
That's fair. Listen, the Chargers are in this weird kind of spot when it comes to, they have a lot to prove, but they're still a team in transition. It's year 3 of Harbaugh, and we're all fed up. Not fed up. I don't think that's the right way to put it. Sorry, forgive me. I think people are sitting kind of on the edge of their seat like, okay, Mr. I won at USD. I won at Stanford, and then I won at Michigan. Well, depending on how you look at how much he won there.
49ers.
The 49ers too, of course. I mean, he faced his brother in the fucking Super Bowl and then lost, but whatever. At what point does that translate to today's NFL? I understand what he did in college, and I understand what he did with the 49ers back in the day, but it's a different league. We had to put up with Greg Roman for 2 years, and you're goddamn right I supported the fuck out of that offense coordinator until he pulled the goddamn, we're not a Burger King offense. Are you sure you're more like a Checkers? Maybe I'm trying to think of like low range fast food places. I actually like Checkers. That was a horrible one. But I'm just gonna say the Burger King offense would have been fine if they would have had a Whopper and actually would have went to the goddamn running backs. And I don't know. It'd be nice to see guys like Hampton, Vidal, Keaton Mitchell catch the ball in the backfield. The good news is you have an offensive coordinator and Mike McDaniel who's going to do exactly that. He's going to use the tight ends. He's going to use the running backs as receiving options out of the backfield and screen situations. The wide receivers are going to catch bubbles. People are going to think that Zachariah Branch out of Georgia is a perfect fit for that because he caught 49% of his passes in college in bubbles and behind the line of scrimmage. I'm a bigger Brendan Thompson guy out of Mississippi State, a 4.26 guy, because I think he fits exactly what the Mike McDaniel offense needs. And you can get him in the third, maybe fourth round. He's a little bit small. But for those of you who are unaware, I'm not the biggest guy, but I catch everything. So I believe that anybody who can do that, Kegley,
including all the injuries.
The injuries are a big thing for a lot of them.
You catch all of those. You catch more of those than you do anything else. You catch more of those than you do the flu.
And I catch more injuries than I do STDs, thank God, because I've never had any STDs, but I catch everything.
Section 8 studio traditions.
Section 8 studios. By the way, I'm glad Kegley brought that up. We are renaming. I have the neon on the way. It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks, but we do have a Section 8 Studios neon coming. Thank you, Bert Grossman. We love you. And by the way, Kegley, who is still young, Bert, he's got all the love for you too, because he knows everything when it comes to former Chargers. Probably post 19, can I say 90? Is that fair to say?
I mean, I've studied the NFL from 1920 up to now. I know the guys like Jim Thorpe, Red Grange, George Hallis, Don Hudson, Sammy Baugh.
Those are some great names, and the young cats are like, oh, cool, those are made up. No, they are not. Those are all incredible players.
Nope.
Hey, Tessa is saying right here, and she's agreeing with you here, Kegley, I'm excited to see Mike McDaniel work magic. So are we. It should be interesting to see a modern NFL offense. Come on now, have a look. The offensive line. I understand.
If you get offensive line, sure. But if not, Mike McDaniel's offense is an offense that develops. It's let the routes develop and catch them in stride and let them take it the rest of the way. If you don't have an offensive line, you're going to be screens and dinking and dunking. You're going to look like Greg Roman by accident.
Or Joe Lombardi. I love what Brian always makes me
laugh. Ken Wisenhunt with the Ready Royal wide receiver screen.
I actually liked Wisenhunt for a minute, and then he really just got so conservative. I just couldn't hang. Brian Cates, he's one of the most clever people that I've been around, and I appreciate you so much, brother. I hope y'all love those jerseys y'all got. Are the Chargers players getting together to set off 4th of July fireworks? Well, Najee Harris isn't there, so let's just fucking hope we can forgive all that and forget doing that kind of thing as a group, and let's let the non-NFL players be the people with the lighter in their hands. Would you agree, or should they just say, fuck it, let's Jason Pierre-Paul it and give it a shot?
Or just not be an idiot and know how to actually operate a firework. You're supposed to be able to light it and run away. Why is it in your hand?
Dude, I don't do that. So random.
I do it.
This guy, I know, me too. I light all the fireworks around. You already know that about me. I'm crazy and dumb.
In more ways than one, Booga. In more ways than one.
I'm crazy. I'm not that dumb. I just like to play dumb because it works for ratings. I will say this. There's a buddy of mine from high school. Well, actually elementary, middle school, and high school. His name he's so much bigger than me. But anyway, Randy Ewing. This is a cat that I've known for 40 years or whatever it is, less than 40, but close to 40. He did the same JPP thing, and he had a faulty fuse, and it blew off all his fingers. So he's nubbed out, but he does every year. And I put this on my Facebook, and some of you have seen it for sure. No bottle rocket wars. Shaw, no bottle rocket wars. Kegley and
I'm down.
but we're not inviting anybody else. It's just he and I, and I'm a better aim than he is with bottle rockets. But he ended up losing all of his shit. So every year, he puts out a PSA, if you will, saying, "Hey, when it comes to 4th of July, make sure y'all are careful. Don't lose everything." The guy's an incredible driver. He won numerous races at the Martin Drag Speedway. I'm talking like so many, and he raced at what's the Michigan Speedway? You know better than I do.
Michigan International Speedway.
Like he won non-professional races there. Roman Candle, yeah, I'm with you still. Oh, look at these guys. Of course, Shaw. Wait a second. Shaw and Cates, yeah, we know, guys. We know that you were shooting fucking Roman candles and all the fireworks out there. It just makes you guys.
Fireworks are legal here. I don't know how the California cats are getting it, but they're legal here. There's a shack right up the street from me that sells them every 4th of July and New Year's.
Oh man, yeah, you gotta. So I think they're legal here. We gotta be a little careful on the ones that you get, because I live in an area where there are a lot of houses around me, and I own the front lot and the back lot, and we're the only ones out here that have the front and back lot. But I'll tell you right now, all my fireworks were literally just stationary, and they shot off the ground, and there was nothing to do, and we had multiple hoses out, so everything was good. And I don't mean me as a hose, I just mean we had hoses out. That's for all of you out there who are concerned that we weren't trying to be cautious, because we were cautious. Everybody had an incredible time. Most of the neighborhood was here for our fireworks show, but no, we didn't have Roman candle wars or bottle rocket wars.
But you know who's not going to be creating very many fireworks this year?
Najee Harris.
No, two wide receivers that Charger fans seem to really love for no reason.
So what Kegley's doing here is he's segueing into our final topic. God, you're really good at this. I can't wait to have you back next week. Whenever you're available, of course. For the record, Kegley is supposed to be here every Thursday, but his military obligations are a little more important than Bolt Blitz Uncut. I mean, he's got to make money for the family, and I don't pay anybody. So him being here is a blessing for all of us. But what he's talking about is, we talked pre-show, and we kind of shared some notes together. I see the Bolt fam, and Kegley does as well, as these huge supporters of both Trey Harris, a 2nd-round pick last year, and then KLS, Keandre Lambert-Smith, a 5th-round pick last year. What are these supporters basing that off of? Trey Harris was used as a move tight end last year. I know it's in a Greg Roman offense. KLS, unhealthy, but also a healthy scratch at times. Why are the Chargers fans buying so much into them being the difference makers as far as making Herbert successful this year coming up?
Well, I mean, it's probably the same people that said Trey Pipkins is going to be good. Stop being negative about him also. But
yeah,
a lot of them don't do their own research. They go with what they saw in highlight films or what someone says in an article. But you have to look at what these two guys are. KLS is fast. Yes, he runs a 4.37. That fits what McDaniels wants in his offense. But the dude runs like he's stiff. It's like Phillip Rivers with some speed, the baby giraffe kind of leg. He's too stiff. He's not going to get that much separation. You have to scheme him open. And Trey Harris is a route runner. He's a good route runner, but he's not that fast right now. He has to develop. Trey Harris could be the future of the Chargers, but he'd have to develop and train hard to do that. He has to pull off of what Ryan Matthews did. Ryan Matthews, after his first couple of years, went balls to the wall in the gym, on the field, everything to try to become good. And Trey Harris has to do that. Lambert Smith is a totally different issue. That guy just has to learn to become a little bit more athletic. He's got speed, but he needs to not be as stiff so he can be loose and make people get off of him, or else he's just going to get jammed at the line. And if you're jammed at the line, your speed don't mean shit.
Yeah. No, and I think that's something that this Mike McDaniel offense, one of the things I'm most excited about, I guess, is how I should kind of say that. McDaniel, in my opinion, even more than Shanahan and McVay, he has this tendency of making sure somebody's open on every play. If you're in the lineup, if you're in the receiving core, if you're in the backfield, there's a chance you're going to catch the ball. McDaniel is very good at making sure that the ball is passed around and it goes to everywhere across the field. You watch Waddle, you watch Tyreek Hill, you watch Devon Achane, you watch Raheem Mostert, by the way, when he was there. there you have an opportunity to make a lot of plays. Darren Waller out of nowhere, he took 2 years off and then he went to the Dolphins and he had a decent, fill-in season. Though I don't expect a Waller signing by any means. I do expect Gadsden and Charlie Kolar to make some plays. You really have done an incredible job tonight, Kegley. I know you're not doing a lot more other than just being the greatest fucking military man that we can ever be a part of here on Bull Blitz Uncut, but is there anything else you're working on? And other than being here and hanging out with me, by the way, I think I'm probably staying home for the draft. We're going to figure it out. But if I do stay home, then Kegley and I are probably going to do like an 8-hour stream for the draft. But what else are you working on? What else you got working?
Well, it's storm season, so I'm out there looking for ways to die, basically, in the storm.
Oh, yeah. Hey, hold on. This is the perfect opportunity to talk about lightning in a keg.
Yeah, I do have my own storm chasing page. I'm trying to get built up so I can get paid to chase storms and get the wife off my back. Be like, hey, but I earned money doing it, didn't I? We got storms coming this week, and my page, Lightning in a Keg, you can find on Facebook. It's just Lightning in a Keg. Twitter is it's Lightning Keg. It's all it would let me do character-wise. And then TikTok, it's Lightning in a Keg, but each word has a dot in between it, a period. I drive straight into the middle of the storm, and I try to get like videos and shots. This year, I'm trying really hard to get my first tornado.
Which terrifies me. We're going to lose a Thursday host, which sucks. But I will tell you right now, when I'm talking about breathtaking photos and when he's talking about getting right into it, he sends me stuff, whether it's the start of NASCAR races, because he knows I love that shit, because those engines roaring are just, it's something I miss from man, I'm a Midwestern guy. So even though everybody considers me a fucking West Coast guy in San Diego and LA and all the places I've been before, I've just been a little bit of everywhere. If you have not yet checked out Lightning in a Keg, you really need to do so. I'm talking about beautiful shots of lightning where you're just like, I might want to steal that as my profile header. I mean, it's beautiful, beautiful shots. And when he says, I'm trying to get in the heart of the tornado, I'm sad to say he's very, 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 very honest about that. I could not agree with the fact that he is saying that. It breaks my heart. But if you want to really get a good insight on what these storms are, especially remind me of your state. Sorry.
Good old Oklahoma.
He's in Oklahoma, as is one of my favorites, James Allen. We love you, brother. We know you're not tuned in right now, but appreciate you so much. Kegley, other than the storm stuff, is that what you're working on, or are you just going to sit here and tune in and be a part of Bull Blitz Uncut as often as possible?
Well, as long as the military don't get in the way, yeah, it's either that or I'm driving all the way to a NASCAR race. I got next weekend, Kansas.
Who's your favorite? Go ahead, say it. Who's winning?
Ross Chastain, the watermelon farmer from Florida.
That's his driver, by the way. He's a huge supporter of Ross Chastain. If you get bored, Ross, we'd love to have you tune in every now and then. It'd be great for my guy Kegley over here.
I'm a big supporter of the farmers, and he's a watermelon farmer. He has his own podcast to help the farmers, and I even volunteer at a bakery, at Urban Bakery, who's farming, and they also have their own dog sanctuary to help senior dogs. They just got a good bit of donations to create fencing for their sanctuary to help these dogs that have given a second chance at life.
That's incredible. Do you mind giving are you able to, or is it cool to say the name of the sanctuary?
The sanctuary is called W.H. Pletch Sanctuary, and it's a part of Urban Bakery.
Oh, what we'll do, guys, if you guys tune in, or excuse me, not tune in. If you're interested in being a part of trying to support these animals and help build fences and anything that it could be to make their lives better, John is going to put that both on his Twitter, which he will put out there on Facebook because it's easier, because his Twitter account, they didn't give him 2 G's and the biggest Charger fan ever. And that is exactly who he is. But go to John Kegley's Facebook page and you can find that. He'll do his best to accept as many people as he can. But when I say that John's only available when his military obligations allow him to be, he's also volunteering at this bakery. He's also volunteering at this shelter. Kegley is not just busy. He's one of the best humans that we have on this show. And I'm not going to make the outro long. And a big thanks to my guy, John Kegley, and I'll talk to you when the show's over. My name is Booga Peters. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got a lot of special stuff coming up. Make sure you tune in. Stay tuned. Peace out. We love y'all.